On, zero, and liftoff.
Just doing my thing.
Thank you for being you and tuning in to the Voice of C38 podcast. I am Brendan Wyatt.
I'm a little rusty.
Yes. I want to welcome Matt back.
Thumbs over on the board there.
Cheers.
I rearranged the studio so we can blame it on some of the setup too if we'd like.
Oh, okay.
Brian's
You
in
also rerouted
studio
my
as well.
phone. Yeah.
Aloha, mofos.
Yeah, Mofo dropped from Brian early in the cast.
Yeah, I'm not even drinking beer
And
tonight.
he came from the dentist with no medication, they say.
I'm just angry.
Root canal with nothing. No Novocaine.
Angry
Yeah.
Brian.
Just
Hey,
How you like me now?
pure
we're working on
rage.
personalities, so we might just have to. It might be Aloha Brian has gone Angry Brian.
Could be.
Lava Brian.
Pele Brian.
There we go. Okay. There are two other guys hanging out on the Discord Twitch channel. Say hi. Colin.
Hi, guys.
Well met.
Say hi. Not
Say
well.
hi. Yep. Colin the intern. We've given him a name. Since, the drunken monk is just, if anybody has owned their name over the last 2 years,
No.
it would be the guy who's consistently been drunk.
Are you drunk tonight, by the way?
Yeah.
Attaboy.
He also appears to be wearing a bathrobe.
Yeah. Is that your smoking jacket? What
I
is
think
that?
he's trying to take over for Hef.
And
Yeah.
and look, he's got
Button-up
like
shirt.
since
Like Brendan's shirts he wears for his interview.
well, I can't wear jerseys and stuff, so I got to try to hide it in plaid, so to speak, I guess.
You're a vision in plaid, let me tell you.
Yeah, I've gone plaid.
Super sexy, but it looked better with the mustache. Now you kind of just look like you're trying hard.
Yeah, well, I had to switch it up.
I can't even follow game on Twitter in here.
Oh, well.
Welcome to break.
Yep.
Although,
So I guess this is what happens when we're at the end of the season and we tied. Not really all that excited, and we're not really that pissed off.
no.
Nah, I haven't been pissed off for a long time.
Well, any more so than before.
You ask my son how emotional I got 2 years ago, and he'll tell you how much I laughed this year. I just let that.
Well,
all
your
go.
your hormones were changing.
Yes, I did hit menopause.
Why is Daddy so angry all the time?
It's a 3-letter word. You'll learn about it. Has nothing to do with soccer.
Oh.
So the Dallas game, we all had optimistic predictions.
We did our mission no favors as a spoiler.
Yeah.
That being
All
said,
we did,
though,
all we did was mildly annoy
Odd
them.
Score.
yeah.
We mildly annoyed them, but
Kind
that,
of,
yeah, we were gnat in their face. That's pretty
fly in
much
my
it.
face. I think, yeah, you're right.
I wanted to be a tick on their ass.
So
swelling at every minute.
one of the takeaways that I had was a new task for Colin the intern. How many shots of Alan Gordon's that he's had point blank that missed versus shots that he's had point blank that went in?
Wow, harsh. I mean, you got to give it up, though.
It was a question that I'm wondering, and
Yeah.
I want to put him to task because I don't mean it totally bad, but there was another one in this game where we could have maybe had 2 or 3. Now, the header from the late in the game when Eigner just dumped that cross, that was, and
perfectly the back
perfect.
post.
The save was an epic save on that. But there was one that he had earlier in the game where he brought it down, had a second touch. Man,
Yeah,
that one you got to finish. So that was kind of, if I'm nitpicking here.
I'm not a finisher, so I'm not going to nitpick.
Yeah, that's
Another
what your
change
ex
from
said.
last year. Boy, you were all about the goals last year.
And you changed leagues.
I know. I need to get off the schneid. Get on the board. I blame my teammate. I blame what's around me. I'm kind of like Nana thrown into whatever. Except
That's
no.
not an excuse because I watched the highlight reel and Nana came from whatever. He came from the rapids of Europe to the rapids of America.
Well, maybe that's what I'm in now. I'm in the European phase of that. That being said, I was pleasantly surprised with how they played as a whole. unfortunately, the old cliche, it's a results game. And if this game would have been game 2 instead of game 30, I think we'd feel a lot better. Because we saw enough good things happen. But how many of us are too little too late?
And we talked about it at the tailgate a lot. All of us were enraged by Gordon starting up top. And he proved why. He did a good 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And in the second half, he almost became non-existent except for a couple of plays. But in the first half, he had that one amazing shot. Keeper just, I don't even know how he got his hand on it.
Well, and if you read...
And he had a couple headers. It's just like he fades away. That's why you don't start him.
Well,
and then I also think with him being up top, you put Baji on the left. Was he on the left? Right. Whatever side he was on. He disappears. He's a lot more effective when he's up top.
Anybody else feel like they were kind of playing a bit of a 4-4-2? Despite the way the lineup was set up, because at times it kind of almost looked like it.
I can't answer that. I was at a wife thing, a formal gala that she organizes, and I was pissed because I was checking my MLS updates all night. I never got the one that said Dallas.
Oh, that's
scored.
That's right.
Oh no!
All the way till the end. All the way till the end. I thought we
real?
were up 1-0.
Oh no!
All the way until the final score came in. I was so pissed at MLS.
You were the happiest cat at the gala.
I was going to say that's going to change your entire perception of how the game went.
It completely ruined my wife's special night. I mean, when I had to upturn the table, what am I supposed to do?
Tossing stuff out the windows.
It's our wedding all over again.
I mean, yeah, that wasn't probably the lineup of your choice, but it was a lineup of necessity, really. I mean, and Cookie even said that after the match and post game. And he praised Gordon for not just the first half, but his effort on the night.
I did see the remarks afterwards, and my favorite was Josh Gatz.
Yeah,
who said? I mean, I forget.
I have to pull it up.
Oh, sorry.
There's no way that I could paraphrase it. No, because if I paraphrased it, I wouldn't have done it justice. So yeah, I gotta just.
As long as it wasn't the same old.
That guy's a good interview because you basically just wind him up and watch him go. And
had a lot of practice with the hairbrush and a mirror over the years.
I don't know about that, but
well,
he's not been playing much soccer.
Most of these guys know how to groom themselves, but he definitely isn't afraid of the camera, and he's got a heck of an energy. So it was on playing spoiler because it was. I don't know who asked the question.
I think Connor because it was on altitude.
Damn it, because that's the one thing I've been saying in the last couple of my articles is how all we got left now is to play spoiler.
Yeah.
So he asked on playing spoiler, so Gat said, absolutely. Going into next week with Salt Lake coming here, it's on our home turf, so there's no way we want to let them walk away with a victory and a chance to go in the playoffs in our home soil. So if they're coming here, we're taking that opportunity right from them, and we want to take it completely so we can look back and we can say we got the last laugh.
Yeah, these guys know that you think they don't. Some of them don't know the history or don't care as much as you'd like, but they know what's going on, and yeah, they take it pretty personal and seriously, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that despite the fact that there's really not a whole lot to play for, that's the one thing to go play for. And we've talked about it. How many times has RSL just kicked us in the teeth when we were right there just hanging on the ledge?
This is payback week.
It would be nice to just do it to them like they've done to us a few times.
Yeah, I agree.
You guys are jumping way ahead of yourselves.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're just alluding. But I do have a question back to altitude.
Uh-huh.
Is there any way, and I'm speaking for Joan as well, is there any way to hear Kevin Doyle's commentary? You're the only one in this podcast who's heard it.
Yeah. Did anybody else listen to it? Live? We were all live. I
Nobody's
mean,
got
you were the
altitude.
only one that was smart enough to be like, all right.
Nobody has altitude. Nobody will pay for that shit. If you go to a bar, there's no sound.
Well,
Nobody heard Kevin Doyle.
Brian's also the guy that owns a Walkman, with that AM radio that you.
No, I got those headphones, the big old
the fuzzy earphones from Sony that kind of go back and forth.
Yep, I have
with
those.
the extendable antenna.
Yeah.
Roller skating down the beach.
It was only on radio.
Right.
It was really fun to listen to, though. The only problem was they were about 45 seconds delayed from the action what I was watching live. Mm-hmm. So it was hard, but I would just, kind of...
Well, you should be used to that by watching our stream versus talking.
It was cool, though.
There's nothing as pretty as Kevin Doyle.
Do you think that there's a way that we could go back and hear that cast? Or
I mean, the only way you can go look is, go to
we'd have to ask
Altitude 950 AM and see if they have a
oh, yeah.
I didn't check their archives.
See if they have an archive page.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if they do.
I need
or
a
not.
drop for that.
I only checked the Rapids website, and there was no link to Kevin Doyle's.
Try that, or maybe try... Yeah.
Step your game up.
It was good, though. Doyle was awesome. He was kind of... He throw in some really, just... And he wasn't all, sunshine for the Rapids. He was critical enough when he needed to be, like... Oh yeah, so and so should have pulled that back or taken one less touch.
Fuck that up. He fucks it up every fucking time.
I would have scored that. He did not say that, but
not when Axel's header went off the bar. Ting.
Yeah, and it's funny. He's because he was just real low key. Like I think I told Brendan this. Oh yeah, that was there goes a nice header by Axel. Ooh, off the bar. Yeah. Like, whatever.
They just put those bars in the worst places.
They do. Darn it. They move. I
Doyle,
think they move.
Yeah, I think
swear
Kevin
that's
knows that
strategically placed, man.
But hopefully he'll do the same gig for the Salt Lake game. I don't know what their plan is.
I don't know. He rushed off to Ireland pretty quick. I mean, he said in his goodbye that he has enjoyed his time in Denver and they will miss it. He is definitely not staying. That's not the plan.
Well, he'll be here till the end of the month.
Well, I thought I heard he was already out of country. Brendan say
I
that?
thought so. I was wrong.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. Great to hear.
No, he's here. He was upstairs, and he's been here. I mean, it would be great if we could have an opportunity for the fans to say goodbye. I haven't reached out
Brendan
yet.
guarantees he won't be at our tailgate.
Yeah, that's what I need to do. Is I need to guarantee that
Exactly.
the opposite. So, yeah.
Joan, try Altitude 950 AM's website and see if they have an archive.
I wonder if they got a SoundCloud.
They might. Mile High Radio does. That's where I listen to some of their stuff.
What made me think of it.
Maybe try and
don't know.
get a hold of Jesse Trujillo because he's their producer. He's always up in the box there.
Right. Okay. Well, there's a little plug-in for the big boys there.
Yep. Good job, Jesse.
The real media people.
So, any final thoughts do you guys have, Colin, Austin, on the game, your experience?
I walked away from that game thinking, for the first time in a very long time, I felt like we actually put in a complete performance as a team.
What?
And that is no small thing to say.
Other than defending that one set piece, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Atiba Harris outjumped Courtney Ford and Gordon. Both guys.
Anybody but Atiba Harris.
Right?
Couldn't
There's another one for you, Colin the intern. How many of our ex-Rapid players have scored on us?
Ooh, I like that one.
Made
That's a
her
good
figure
one.
out.
470.
This year?
No. They're following, within 2 years, because Atiba Harris has been there for a couple years. But
you can just say X in general.
Yeah. How many ex-Rapid players have had more goals against us than for us?
Now that would be a good one. I don't know if anybody's
Take your time
making
with it.
that
We
list.
need some off-season stuff.
It's going to be pretty hard to come up with.
Yeah.
But Louis Solinak comes to mind. He's got to be one. If not now, then
Yeah, I think you're spot on.
Right, Lucho could be pretty dangerous in the
spot
future.
on.
Good thing we don't play them that much.
Yeah. It's the only reason he hasn't scored on us. He will. It's coming.
Was he out for that game? All right.
Yeah, all right. Austin, anything? Or was there more, Colin?
No, that was mostly it. That and Eigner is devastating as always.
Are people happy with Eigner now? Was the wait worth it?
and here's,
Yeah.
I guess, to drop back to we were discussing
Incomplete.
last and you said that Doyle came in and had to kind of get his feet wet and take a little bit to get ready. And it seems like Eigner has stepped in and in this 6 months is putting balls in the net He's had, what, 2 goals and 2 assists? 1 assist?
No, I think he's 2-2. I can pull it up.
'Cause,
Eigner
like,
is
that's
2
pretty
and
insane.
1.
Yeah, when
So
he's finally
he's stepping up his
got on the
game.
field.
Like,
Well, yeah, that's the point I was going to make kind of
Is that-
with
yeah, is that what
Brian
you're
was
asking,
that,
or I don't know?
you know, he took a little bit longer to get, you know, to where he wanted to be, where he's at this level of fitness. And even Cookie said after the game, he's still not 100% where he wants to be. But just, you know, again, think about what you're going to get from this guy once he is. And
but
hopefully
he's producing already.
Right.
He's already producing. Like, that's what's insane. Every player we've brought in, especially from international leagues, has taken at least the rest of the season, if not longer, to kind of get themselves able to play in the MLS and play at altitude. Even though it took him a little bit to start. It's been, what, a month, 2 months?
Right. Well, does anybody remember the rant that I went off on saying find me a player that we've actually signed that has produced as almost as soon as we got him?
Yeah, I think Jason Maxwell shoved it right down your throat, didn't he?
Well,
Yeah, he did.
he kind of questioned whether, you know, Doyle was and
They
Gashi.
said
No, it was
Gashi.
Gashi. And that's true. Gashi was pretty much the only guy other than Gashi. Now you can say Gashi and Agner, which the
To be honest,
question
Marco Papa started off strong for us too.
and
But he's MLS to MLS.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
but then my next question would be, did anybody else watch the game and see Gashi on the bench and watch Eigner take the crosses and produce and kind of be the bit of the man and think, I gotta be stepping my game up next year?
I want them both on the field at the same time.
I know, but do you think Gashi's kind of thinking, wow, like, all right, time to step my game up? I wonder if he kind of got a little, maybe after last year,
Well, and it was interesting too.
going into this year, and then Eigner kind of coming in, and I mean, who knows what's the mentality and the drive like in the locker room.
It
But
sounds like it's getting better for Gashi. I did hear on the broadcast with Kevin and McGahee, they were talking a little bit about him, you know, because he finally came in at the end. That, you know, he's going to have family moving over here, and so he'll be a little more stable, you know, this way. So hopefully that'll help, you know, keep him from globetrotting and
Well, you know, a few
Monday
weeks
Night Raw.
yeah, I don't know.
go on. You know, a few weeks ago, I was on vacation and I went out to training one day, and I was talking to Joan and Mark is his name. Mm-hmm. Well, Joan was telling me that since Eigner's got there, she's noticed his spirits have gone way up. And I thought, no, maybe it's having somebody he can talk to in German.
Yeah,
Might have something to do with it.
There's something
to
to
the
be said for that.
homesickness. It may be that he's welcoming this level of competition that he can match or he can be pushed by.
or he can
Right.
partner
He
with.
He just needs that chance to
That's
be
what
partnered
I'm
with it.
hoping for.
He's been super upbeat, like coming in the locker room, and he's always got a smile on
Yeah,
his face.
Joan said he's completely different. I mean, definitely changing his whole persona.
Yeah, just his demeanor is much more upbeat and
Yeah.
hey, all right, how you doing? You know, which is good. I mean, hopefully that'll carry through next year. You know, he feels good about it, and that'll produce a little more positive for him.
Too bad there's an off season about to happen.
No. I swear to God, I was also talking to Joan about this, but I'm the only one who remembers this. But I swear to God, at the beginning of this year,
Yeah.
when Gashi reported back, he did an interview with Fleming on his podcast, and he said that trip was a family thing and not a usual lifestyle for him.
Oh yeah.
That it's not something he's ever done or will do again, but it was a family kind of reunion. I keep meaning to go back and look at that for that podcast, but I swear I heard that.
That's cool. I mean, yeah, you got to have a balance. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. I know if people are mad about the off season last year, then give them another chance.
yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen again.
I'm not mad.
Well,
mad,
if,
Brian?
if
No.
people are
mad.
I think he deserved it, whether it was a family thing or not. Because when he came here, he didn't have an off season. He was coming
Right,
from a
right.
season to a season. Like there was no break, there was no nothing. He played a really long season. I felt like he deserved a break.
And you got to think that takes effect on guys mentally. Plus traveling across continents. And
Oh yeah,
things like that.
They all learn that first year of traveling across America is way different.
Yep.
It's a whole nother animal.
It's something you can read about and people can try to tell you, but Yeah,
I think it was the
it's-
subject of why Jermaine Jones flies first class or something like that a little while ago.
Shredders. Yeah, go sit in the Columbus airport for 4 hours waiting for your flight to get out, or
Yeah.
Houston or whatever.
You be Axel Schuberg and sit in the middle seat in a Frontier flight.
Oh my God,
Fuck that.
that's true.
I'll crowdfund his upgrade.
Is that kind of it, guys? Anything else? Wrapping it up before we go to Colin's Corner.
Wrap it up.
I'll say that both keepers did a amazing job. They both made some really big
We
saves.
still talking about Dallas
That-
game?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what we're supposed to be talking
I'm
about.
just checking.
Brian has a tendency to think that what he says into the mic isn't heard by everyone
Yeah.
unless he wants it to be heard by everyone.
Oh, you heard that?
But I think they both put up really great saves on both sides that kept their teams in it and kept it 1-1 tie. I think it could have gone either way, and I think it could have even been a 3-3 tie.
Oh, that might have been some excitement. Can't have that around
Wow.
here.
That's good.
That would have been a sign of attacking soccer.
Which I think,
As long as we score the final in that 3-3,
yeah.
not lose the lead in the end, it's a whole different game. Depending on how
It's
those are
true, but
dispersed.
the drama leading up to it, oh my God, talk about white knuckle soccer.
It's always white knuckle.
But yeah,
Even when they score early, it's white knuckle. It's like, oh fuck, how long can they hold on to this?
Yeah. Can you hold on for 75 minutes? No.
That 4 or 5 minutes of stoppage time, you just know is going to be their undoing.
and people wonder why stuff is medical and recreational here.
I was trying to figure out where you were going with that right away.
I guess the only other thing I'd want to discuss is why the Defont sub instead of Serna to the wing and pushing Baji up. I feel that if you put Serna in and you push Baji up and out, you would have put energy on the field. And when you subbed back and moved Hairston over and then Baji up, like Baji was already pretty gassed. Hairston was getting gassed, and you put in Defont, who's bringing no energy and no talent onto the field instead of putting Serna on the field, who brings energy every time he comes.
I think.
Oh, that was
I
quiet.
think it's always quiet.
Yeah, I got.
I think that is the number one question. Everybody is screaming into their twitting devices after every single game. Where is Serna? Why isn't he playing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
even my mom, who didn't watch the game and was in Michigan, I don't know if she dreaded going to that wedding or not. Comments were made. But anyway, she kept saying, why is Serna not playing? And I'm like, Mom, Serna's not going anywhere, so they don't need to see him
Yeah.
play.
Well, no,
I
guarantee?
can't know. Well, that's just what I'm saying. But I mean, that excuse can only work for so long.
so is
I
this
think
a question
everyone
of,
is asking the question,
I'll
why
tell you
did
what
the
I
fuck
think
did
will
Defont
be.
come
Well,
in?
is this a question of why did Defont come in, or why did Serna not come in?
Why does Serna never come in?
Well, that's the question Matt just asked is the question my mom's asking,
Right.
and that's the question other people are starting to ask too: is why not? What's going on? What's the question? Like, why are we not seeing him at this point of the season? Is it a quality thing? Is it a talent thing? Is it a fitness thing? Is it a personal thing? Like, there's got to be a handful of
Well, we're barely
questions that you can-
seeing Gashi.
right,
I got
right.
a wild theory. Cook don't want the job, so he's doing what Pablo did.
Whoa.
And I think I talked to your mom about that at the last game. I think that's exactly what we were talking about.
Don't hire me.
Right.
That type of thing.
I see no changes. If I woke up from 2 months ago from a coma, I wouldn't know Pablo had been fired.
I'm trying to think.
That
your time.
does start a little bit of a discussion
We can
because
talk about that another week if people want to chew on it.
That might be a good one for the first.
But
week of
I
the offseason.
believe he doesn't want the job and he's not trying to win it.
Or has he been told, "Look, you're not going to get it. We thank you for keeping the seat warm."
Then he should say, here's a nice shit burger to eat. I'm going to go win all these games. If he didn't
Suck
want the
it.
job, then he
Maybe-
wouldn't be bothered by it.
maybe
either
we
way.
need to ask him if he's seen that movie first in order to know what a shitburger might be.
I'm pretty sure that played in big in Ireland.
But
England.
I would, yeah, in Sheffield. I
All
would
of Britain,
think
really.
that
I mean, baseball's huge in Sheffield, right?
I would think that the way that they're going about the coaching search, he kind of knows. and it might have been made, clear in whatever PC kind of way, like, yeah, we need you to captain the ship right now because there really isn't anyone else here who can, but we're going to bring in someone who can.
But
Meanwhile,
again,
He had to have known that going in. He had to have known that he needed to basically crush it for the end of the season to get the job, because the argument to have him step in instead of doing a real coach search is a really hard one to make.
Right.
So he'd have to literally prove it to a level that the fans are demanding him take the role versus the fans thinking he's doing a good enough job.
I don't know that would have made a difference, to be honest. I mean, and that's what I wonder if, who knows, maybe from day one they said, hey man, we're calling you interim head coach for a reason.
And his only question was,
How
do
much?
I still have my other job when this is over?
Yeah,
that would be my only question.
Absolutely, I would ask that too.
I would too.
I mean, I'd have no problem taking the job if I knew that I would be able to have my old job back.
Right.
Yeah, we're not going to replace you unless we hire you as coach. That
But-
kind of thing.
I mean, I know firsthand as a guy who coached with other coaches, because I was the C team coach. When the head team coach left, we all lost our job.
Yeah, and usually that's the way it
B
is
and
in
C
athletics.
did too, and so that's a bit of a bummer, but that's just kind of how it goes.
A lot of times, throw ball, baseball, and I know that the bench coach, who's now come up to fill up that spot on the bench, he's come from the youth side of things, so that position may still be available next season.
And I think if Cookie wanted to be a head coach somewhere, he could have had the job elsewhere prior.
And if he wanted to be head coach elsewhere, again, he'd give him a nice big shit burger to eat right now and work on his resume for another head coach
Yeah,
job.
I was gonna say maybe that's a question for him. Hey, are you looking at things like DC? Everybody else that's going to be looking for a head coach.
Unless he's holding out for Las Vegas or Phoenix Rising or something.
He's joining Pablo in his distillery.
Is what?
In his diary?
Distillery.
Distillery.
Yeah,
Is Pablo doing some rum brewing now?
Not that I know of.
I just think the mustache would make an amazing brand logo for a tequila.
I was just about to say
What's
that.
the over-under odds on him having the mustache back as we speak?
0.
5.
Brian knows what Safeway he shops at, so he'll report back to us.
He's going to stalk him. All right. Since we were we ended the topic of the game.
I didn't mean to bring up Cook, but
No, it's not
it
so
just
bad.
came up organically.
I can segue that into Colin's corner because Colin's done some work on some stuff that we found interesting, and so take it away, man.
All right. Well, to preface this a little bit, earlier this week we got news that Baji got a 2-year extension on his contract. And we were talking about it earlier. We felt like either way we went with him, we were going to benefit. Either we signed him and we have a good, young, cheap striker, or we used him as trade bait. Turns out we were going to keep him.
What kind of raise do you suppose he got?
Thank goodness.
I would be surprised if it's anything less than like 2.5, almost 3 times his current salary.
According to
He
the
could still
rabbi,
technically be trade.
I think the rabbi said on Twitter we won't know for 8 months.
Yeah, when they release
salaries.
those numbers for next season.
I hope
Yeah,
we
we-
are pleasantly surprised.
I'll bet
I hope so.
I think Colin's pretty spot on, probably between 250 and 3.
That's good. That's
No,
great.
I meant 2.5 to 3 times his current salary.
Oh,
Well,
that's
let's
still
still-
the same
that's
numbers.
almost
add
the
up.
same number.
That puts him
'cause
probably what?
65 times 2 or 3.
yeah.
Oh, I thought he was 85. Is he 65? It was 65?
65, right?
That's disgraceful.
65,000.
Yeah,
That's disgraceful.
right?
But that was his original contract.
Yeah, he was.
You know?
Was he the one that Porig said was the most bang for our buck, like the biggest surprise, or was that a zero?
No, it was
I think
0.
A zero?
That
Okay.
was definitely a 0.
Okay.
And you got to remember,
Well, Badgie
Baji
turned out to
up
be the
until
true one
this
then.
year wasn't impressive.
And he was a 4th round draft pick. You don't pay a 4th round draft pick more.
Yeah, like he wasn't. This year is where he earned that new contract.
Yeah.
The last few years, he wasn't at the. He stepped up his game, and now he's deserved that contract. And
Step your game up.
Wow.
I was waiting for you to finish, man, but there was just kind of a little bit of that delay.
Well, I said
But-
it, and then I was waiting for you.
Ah,
He fumbled with the
Yep.
phone. He flipped the
Stumbling,
page on
bumbling,
accident.
fumbling.
Yeah.
fat freaking
Um,
fingers. But
Speaking of Baji, we can make an announcement. He won Player of the Year for the C38 vote.
Oh, C38 vote.
All
Nice.
right.
guess we know if
Whoa.
he could say
I
that
totally
or not.
agree with that.
So we can. I agree with it too. I don't
Give
know
you
if
that.
anybody on the cast will argue it, but if anybody wants to, it's something we could discuss.
That's bullshit. No, I'm kidding. I agree.
Brian voted for Defon.
Hello?
Just gonna say it.
No, he voted for Doyle. He's got a hard on for Doyle.
I'm going to vote for Doyle for next year too, so don't even worry about
There
it.
is a precedent set with Doyle. I'll get into it another time.
But okay, so if it wasn't Baji, who would you have picked?
My number 2 then,
Jeez, right off the top of my head,
probably Mo Saeed.
really?
Yeah.
He started hot and then fizzled.
Just for not necessarily production wise, but just what he meant to everybody else as far as keeping things together as much as he could. Well, I don't know. You could give Marlon a vote too. I think Marlon really came on this year.
I just have a hard time
My vote
not
would've gone
going
to
for
Hairston.
Marlin. Yeah,
Yeah.
Harrison's just one of my favorites, hands down.
He matured and really,
Hey, I think he's probably going to be one of the guys I follow through his whole career,
yeah,
whatever happens to him.
he's really progressing. I like the way the steps he's taken, and he's not up down up down. He's just very solid, steady path. Does that help?
Can we point out that nobody brought up a player that's earning over the year?
I would say again.
So you're over. You broke up. What's the amount?
Nobody brought up any player that was earning over $300,000. All the players we're bringing up are young and not paid a lot of money, and we're bringing them up as our players of the year.
Yeah. So, what kind of money or facts did you come up with, Colin? Because we really didn't get there. We just were like, oh my god, Baji's only
Austin-
worth this much.
Austin's announcement usurped your bit. Your segment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, you guys
Bogart,
checked it.
Bogart, and your
totally
time.
stole it, man. I'm like, we'll get through this segment at some point.
To answer Austin real quick though, I think it just goes to show that it's production that matters. You want to. I mean, you're on the Rapids now. Be in our hearts in C38.
Oh yeah,
That's a whole nother battle.
So how did Baji earn this, Colin? I'm sure you're going to tell.
Well, for points of comparison here, I basically took a look at goals, how much they're making, and how many minutes they played. So, for example,
Okay.
someone like Doyle, yeah, he makes a huge amount on his actual contract, but he hasn't played as much this year either. So it kind of comes down to a couple of crucial things here and it's basically how much are we essentially paying per goal and how much are we paying per minute of them being on the field.
Okay.
And either way, Baji is a freaking steal beyond anything that you will find in MLS right now. His goals per his paycheck per goal is just over $7,000. Alan Gordon at that is at 60,000, and Doyle is at 209,000. So if you just look at it solely from a contract standpoint,
But what about the rest of the league? Because you said compared to the, and that's a completely different statement when you have people putting up 18, 20 goals.
This is like that Wayne's World drive-through.
Well, shoot, look at anybody who plays for Atlanta. I mean, all those guys are just lighting up for goals.
Well, the one thing that you mentioned, which I was going to ask a question, is you said basically we pay per goal per minute. So where are we at? Did you do the breakdown on that?
I did a breakdown on most of our players for how much we're paying per goal, and then I took just a quick look at some jackass shit team that we're going to be playing next week.
Whoa.
And just to kind of highlight some things here.
Nice.
Tell me how you really feel.
I love it. Throwing out the...
Technically, it's this week.
All right, so we probably don't have the visual for that, so sorry to the few of you that are watching, but break it down, man.
Oh, I'm going to break it down here.
Break it down. That's where we need like the Toad the Wet Sprocket. Break it down. All right, anyway.
Hold on, are we going into
Beasties.
post game?
No, man, he's breaking
We're
down
not done with Colin yet.
goals per minute and what we're paying.
For Baji?
No, for just let him do his thing. Hold up.
Hold your questions till
Just
after class.
Hold on.
Well, if
And
Brendan
thank-
would stop interrupting him, he could actually get.
And thank you
I'm
for
leading
being,
him in.
Thank you for being you.
I'm doing my job.
Since you wrote up,
Sit back and do yours. Drink some more.
This is awesome radio.
Isn't it? Colin, do your thing.
I'm just shaking my head here. All right. Question for you guys here. Who do you think is the most expensive person on our salary per goal?
Howard.
You fucker. That doesn't count.
Well, this year I'd say it's Gashi.
Yeah, that's kind of hard. Yeah, all right.
We're paying $834,000 per goal of his.
That's an expensive goal.
It's just been it's been
Yeah.
a fluke because of the injuries and
Well, even then, I mean, if you look at how much he's played, I mean, he's played, just over 1,000 minutes this season. But you compare that to someone like Serna, who's, he's played significantly less time.
yeah.
But he's also several orders of magnitude cheaper.
My only caveat to just the argument in general is, this isn't a team built to score 3 goals a game.
But he's working on it.
Hopefully. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm just saying for this past year. I'm just saying for this past year, you look at and I bring up Atlanta
But-
again. That's a whole different world of offensive
That's true. But
construction.
to Colin's
versus ours.
point, though, Gashi was brought in to help create or score goals. We're still paying $800,000 a goal out of Gashi. What are we paying out a goal for Baji?
Well, he's also playing a ton more. too.
Well, and then, I would assume that he's got some comparative minutes.
Brr.
Yeah.
All right,
If
let's.
you want to take a look at their expected goals per minute,
That'll-
right now our current leader is Eigner.
Well, that's
He's averaging over half a goal per game.
I like it.
And it's insane. But also you got to keep in mind he hasn't played a lot of minutes. And he's also still kind of getting used to it. So I think it'll be interesting to see where it ends up next year for this.
Yeah, I agree. Because look at when the minutes he's come in. He comes in 15 minutes at the end of the game, 20 minutes. At
Well,
the
he's
end of
had
the
a couple starts now too, but
I know. I'm just saying initially from his.
well, yeah, and
Okay.
I would assume part of his research was minutes played versus minutes goaled, and that's how it's all valued. Colin's going to have to draw a diagram so we can understand
Yeah,
the math
can we get a
involved.
Venn diagram of that, please?
What else? Yeah, who else do we got?
Well, I kind of looked at who else has scored a lot for us this year, Doyle being the big one. He scored 5 goals. And again, I just also want to point out it's a little sad that we're looking at our second highest scoring player,
Yeah.
and it's 5 goals, and that's it.
Way to just rub the foot in the ground.
It's a little bit pathetic.
Dang.
But,
It's been a rough year. Anyway, continue.
That's kind of that's kind of my point.
How expensive were his goals?
$209,000 per.
Chump change.
Do you know what I could do with just one goal worth that much?
Tell me about it.
So was he second on the team then?
You could forever rent a car and never buy one.
For what?
Goals per minute, or
Basically what I
like
do now.
price wise? Was it Gashi then Doyle, or
Well, for goals per minute, actually, Gordo's at top. Outside of Eigner. Sorry.
at top as far as production? Like best way to go? Oh, even more than Baji?
Yeah, in terms of
Okay, so how
in terms
so?
of goals per game, it's Eigner at top at 0.58, and then Gordon at 0.38. Baji's at 0.34 right now.
And that's based on minutes played too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's how many goals they've played versus minutes, and then normalized to 90 minutes.
How much is a Gordon goal worth?
60 grand. You basically pay a Baji every time Gordon has scored a goal.
Really?
And to give Gordon versus Baji more of a, I guess, debate would be that Gordon always gets to play that kind of top, so he's always the target guy, and Baji has actually played a significant amount of wing.
What is he talking
I
about?
don't know. It's like every other word.
Yeah.
I'd like a jelly donut with a straw, please.
Anyways, I kind of wanted to compare Baji alone here just with two other little things quick.
Okay.
One being he had cost the exact same amount as DeFont. It's all just kind of...
You're just
Cringe
poking
a
the
little
bear, baby. Poking the bear.
Who's Colin's favorite player? All right.
Anti-DeFont?
Yeah. Okay. What else?
Yeah. And then just also to say, Baji has played the second most in this season for us.
Right.
Next
And
to
can anyone
Azira.
guess who has played the most minutes?
Azira.
Tim Howard.
0.
No to both.
It's not 0.
Mo Saeed.
Marlon Hairston.
I'm cool with that. Totally well
Interesting.
deserved.
How about that?
Marley's the Iron Man this year.
That's awesome.
So anyways. Next, I wanted to show what... Okay, Baji's easily going to get our golden boot this year. How does RSL's players show up? Correct answer is not as good and for a hell of a lot more. So we win again.
The moral victory
You lost me.
or the financial victory.
So,
Yes.
yeah,
that means nothing to me.
the financial...
My ticket prices go up regardless.
That's true. God dang it.
All right. So I took a look at RSL right now. They have 3 people with 7 goals, and those are their highest goal scorers.
Right.
At the least, you're going to be paying $400,000 for one, paying nearly $2 million. Now I understand it's RSL and they're a crap team, and we hate them and all the rivalry and stuff. But if you just set aside that fact, Baji is one of the best contracts I think you will find in the entirety of MLS.
Was?
Yeah,
or now?
Was.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're
But
what's
still,
what'd you
it's
say his
still-
goals for 90 minutes was game?
For Baji,
Yeah,
0.34.
0.34. So if we look that up compared to the rest of the league, the top is 1.19 from Martinez, and the other top 10 are at 0.6 or more. Now they're probably paid a lot more, but just for a comparison, for a top team or a top goal scorer, leading goal scorer in the league are putting that kind of goals per 90. Nearly double what our leading goal is, though cheap, which is awesome. He's doing awesome, but compared to these top goal scorers,
Yeah.
I can lip read Austin, and I still don't know what he's saying.
It's rough, man. I think you're
Yeah.
you're having a rough day there on the connection. Um,
Try turning it off and then turning it back on again.
and then we might have finished the Know Thy Enemy and the pregame going into this week. And that will be Austin's rest of the day on the cast. So basically, Baji was a hell of a steal. So even though people kind of maybe questioned and criticized some of the contracts in the past, Baji's was one of those ones that got done right.
And if Baji is an example of Porrig Smith's brilliance, then everyone needs to chill the fuck out.
Right.
Man, let the man work.
Especially if the next one is just as good
And
as
especially if we got some obstacles out of the way.
right. No, I don't think so. Unless maybe he was a part of that beginning first draft. But if he did, I don't know how much information he had on Baji regarding that draft. But what else do you got, Colin?
That's mostly about it.
Okay. Basically, RSL spends a lot more than for their goal scorers or lack of their goal scorers than we do.
Arsenal spends, or sorry, not Arsenal.
Arsenal.
RSL, they're not that good. RSL spends way more for their leading goal scorers, and
Well-
they still aren't as good.
Well, you're just saying we're Walmart and they're Target. That's pretty much what that comes down to.
Yeah.
That does, neither one makes me feel better.
It's like how did that change?
Or are they
But-
Big Lots?
Hey, I
Oh,
like
Big
Lots.
Lots!
Come on.
Forgot about Big Lots.
You get candles there, super cheap.
Although, yeah, you get good value for money
That's
there.
right. Walmart, the shit'll break when you get it home.
When you get to the car.
There's conspiracy theories behind Walmart that too. It all goes full circle. Anyway, did we get Austin back?
I don't know. Did we? My back.
I can
Yeah.
hear you.
Sounds like it.
Nice.
We'll see if
Welcome home.
he goes dancing along the auto tone. Pre-game.
You look marvelous.
It's the third game of the.
Hold on.
Uh
Pregame.
oh, shit. Yep, gotta change the graphic. For those podcasters that are.
No. It's not
Downloading it.
pregame. We also have a Defensive Player of the Year award.
Oh yeah. And then
That's
Matt's
going
no
to
Diana.
Howard.
Him towered.
Him towered.
I mean, he
I thought
was.
this
The
was a
Tower
little
of
bit more
Him.
controversial. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean,
Do you
know,
really think so? Axel was kind of not there half the year. It almost seemed like at times, and it just wasn't that kind of season as far as the
No.
defense goes. Timmy kind of was the mainstay as far as the defense, and he did really what he could. I mean, we sometimes mutter under our breath whether or not McMath would be better at times or not in certain situations, and however you want to replay that.
That's not me, Tim.
But
Also watched his own goal. Kind of took him out of the running.
Yeah.
Didn't Miller have one too?
Yeah.
Early on. Was that this year?
Yeah, early.
I actually think that Watts
New York?
would have been an argument for it. But I know his own goal hurt him in the fans' eyes. But I still think
Yeah.
that he's been pretty good back there.
Although I thought the fans were remarkably forgiving as well. Kudos to them.
all right, well, except for calling the intern over there.
Is that what that was?
Sorry,
I thought that was Austin because of what?
laughable that you would think that Watts would be considered Defensive Player of the Year.
You strongly disagree, huh?
Very much so.
Oh, nice.
Challenge. The
And
gauntlet's been thrown down.
You two go.
Really? So what is your
Fight.
actual facts behind
Fight.
that?
All right, let's
Or
sit
are you
back
just
and let
riding
it
the
go.
Watts hate train from 3 years ago? Catch up with 2016, 2017, lad.
Learn
I
how
know
to
you were only like 12 back then. but
learn how to turncoat like Austin did on once.
I take facts and use them. Watts was terrible. Watts is now a good defender.
It's a big man to admit that.
Yes, but you're saying that you think that of everyone that we have, that Watts is the best defensive player that we've had all year?
Consistently, that's been playing. That's like not to take anything away from Howard. I'm just saying.
Well, wait. Do
Can't be
you
an
rule?
argument made.
Hold up. Do you roll goaltender out? Is it field player or goaltender?
And is it back
It's
four,
field player
is
or
I
it-
would say
goaltender.
both.
Right.
Either one.
But I still think you could make the argument. I agree. I think Howard has been better, but to act like there's nobody else that was in the running, I think would have been, in my opinion, isn't correct. I think that Watts would have been in that running.
Dennis Castile would have got my vote.
I sure would like to see more of that kid back there.
Hurricane Castillo, yeah. Hurricane Dennis.
Or
Maybe
or
next
even
year.
a zero. You could make the argument for a zero too.
That's where I was going.
I would put a zero way ahead of Watts.
Yeah, we know. You think Watts is the scum of the earth, but you're just wrong. It's okay.
Not-
It's
Colin,
okay.
You're just last year's
Calm
Austin,
it down,
though.
Draco. Calm it down.
That's not me, Jared.
He doesn't listen to this, but his wife might.
Well, thank you for that.
Alrighty then. Any other player trophy winners we need to not skip over?
No, those were the two.
Okay.
They'll be handed out at the game.
What do they get?
We give a trophy each year. So they each get a trophy, and in general, they will go to the sections. I don't know about this year. I'm not involved in that part. But, like, the player of the year usually goes to 117, and defensive player comes to 108.
You think Howard's going to go to 108?
Yep.
I got a bridge to sell you.
How much you want to bet it?
Over 117, do you know which section you're talking about?
I'm just saying into a section at all.
Yeah, he'll go to a section.
No, wait, but last year
They don't go up into the section.
No, last
They
year I-
go into the
Oh,
section.
okay.
Just at the bottom.
Yeah, I got to be
Yeah.
one of the guys to present to Axel last year, and we had to go
Over the wall.
We went over the wall.
'Cause otherwise, I'll bet you my wedding ring.
It's worth like
It's worth
pennies.
about a 12-pack worth of beer.
It's not in the bottom of a reservoir yet.
You don't have to be lonely at farmersonly.com.
I'm going to have to reach out for a sponsor at this fucking point.
A farmer chick would break you in half, man.
I know, dude. She would.
At
don't know.
a buck 55, yeah. She was.
Brian just needs a good ride.
He just needs a good mustache ride, maybe.
55.
Oh, I don't know.
I can't even grow a
Sorry.
mustache. Let's get it. Anywho.
Well, we are playing RSL this week.
We gotta know thy enemy.
Yep, exactly.
Oh,
I
shit.
was leading right into that. Maybe Matt might be able to help us out with getting to know thy enemy a
I
little
don't know.
bit.
I'm a little rusty.
And let's face it, the last time we played
You
RSL...
couldn't be any rustier than my freaking pipes right now. Let me put it
God,
that way.
I
man.
heard my voice.
We
right
played
there.
And they're
RSL
turning him yellow.
at RSL. We
Yeah.
got pretty much bitch slapped. So this is a payback game.
More so than what Josh Gatt said, you think?
I think so.
Absolutely. That's the way we should look at it. Even though, unless we blow them the fuck out, we really have no way of bringing home a trophy or keeping the trophy here.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I mean, it would have to be a slaughter,
I would just like to see a
you
win.
can't. You
Right?
Can't get it
And the
back.
home
it's not even
season.
possible, right?
No.
Yeah, it's games won and then score total.
Yeah,
I
so we're effed.
Yeah. As far
But-
as the cup goes.
But many of us can remember what happened a couple years ago, where
Yeah.
it wasn't about the Rocky Mountain Cup; it was about the playoffs.
We still got the cup, but
And
lost
I'll
the
never
game.
forget watching Beckerman going and running over to that visitor's corner, and I'm like, "You little Ron, what did you fucking pull, river, you little dried head?"
Austin remembers that fondly too.
Right, he can probably still smell it. Anyway,
God, it still hasn't come off. Like I'm trying to wash it off.
it's probably like the iron in my well. Okay, I digress.
Are we ready?
Yes, we are ready,
We're
man.
ready.
All right, bear
Let's
with
do
me.
this.
I'm a little rusty.
Yay! My favorite part.
The
of
return of Know Thy Enemy. RSL. Woot woot.
Enjoy.
Real Salt Lake are perched in the middle of the table, but look as giants from where we lie, an unbridgeable 12 points below. Real Salt Lake have slipped just below the line and are fighting for a playoff berth. They trail Dallas and Houston by a point, and Houston plays SKC midweek while Dallas battles Seattle on Sunday. Right now, the fate of Salt Lake hinges on defeating the Rapids. That sounded like a bong over there. As the state of Utah turns its eyes to Texas, where even a draw from either the Steers or the Dynamo opens a door to the playoffs. So when they get to the Dick on Sunday, what they must see is a whole army of Rapids fans standing across that door. Because this is Colorado. Because this is the Highlands, and that is the Highlands Way. When the Columbus crew came to Colorado and Higuain put them in front with a cruel deflection off Azira, did we give up? No, that's not the Highlands Way. Instead, Miller, Said and Hairston secretly dug a trench across the entire pitch, right behind the 18-yard line, using only their boots. The next time Higuain ran for goal, he fell in that trench and was impaled on their upturned cleats at the bottom. Gordon then jumped in that fucking hole, cut off his head, flayed flesh from bone, and drank as man of the match from his fucking skull. That's the Highland Way. Yeah! When those sea-level dwelling bastards, the Portland Timbers, came to Colorado and Sebastian Blanco threw his piping hot, triple venti, half-sweet, non-fat caramel macchiato in Courtney Ford's face, momentarily distracting him from the job at hand and putting that ball past Howard, did we give up? No! That's not the Highlands way. Instead, Axel, DeFont, and Watts stormed the northeast stands, herding and slaughtering the emotional support animals of every visiting fan, and with their corpses built a mighty wall just past the 18-yard line, and a visually pleasing herringbone pattern. Every Portlander for miles was reduced to a quivering mound of pudding, no longer able to face the responsibilities and reality of the world around them. And as they curled into a fetal position, desperately seeking a safe space, Badgie and Gordon stomped them into fertilizer for our glorious, real grass pitch. Because that's the Highland way. Yeah! And when Houston trekked up the hill to Colorado and took away Kevin Doyle's mighty go-ahead goal by scoring in the most cowardly fashion at the last second of the last minute of the first half, did we give up? No! Because that's not the Highland way. Instead, they went to the locker room, poured Bell's whiskey down Hurston's throat, and woke the Scottish inside him. Because Marlon Hurston, despite his skin colour, is more Scottish than using your neighbour's chimney as a toilet. Ha! Marlon Hurston, despite the dreadlocked hair, is more Scottish than masturbating in a public library. Marlon Mac Hurston, despite that not being his actual name, is more Scottish than headbutting a feral goat. Hurston then took the pitch all by himself, one man versus 11, and he scored not one, but 2 goals, faster than Cubo Torres could empty the magazine of an ATR-90 fully automatic rifle with stamped steel receiver and 2 struts, telescope and butt stock, you know, the kind you'd use to hunt quail with. It said to this day still, all of southeast Texas tells tales of Marlon Hurston, a man who shoots fireballs from his eyes and belts of lightning from his arse, because that's the Highland way. Yeah. And that is what will stand before Real Salt Lake Sunday, an army of Rapids fans, a Howardrian's wall of Burgundy. That's for the smart listeners out there. As we stand together to tell them that while they have the Rocky Mountain Cup, they'll never take the MLS because the Highlands are in their way. Yeah! Oh, that's no thy enemy.
That's a fucking mic drop. The back of my head hurts, man.
Good night, everybody. See you next week.
Did I break something? Oh.
Nope, that was just Austin disappearing and coming back again. It was so good.
Dude,
Austin
towel?
did his
Told
own
you,
mic
I
drop.
get very nervous with these things.
Oh, dude. Well done. Take a sippy.
That wore me out.
From laughing, man. That was awesome. I'm already ready to go back and replay it again. Okay, do it again. Take 2? I didn't hit record.
Rewind
Yeah, really.
4
Just
minutes or
Oh,
so.
crap.
Yeah. We're going to kick their ass.
Whoa, all right. Ballsy, but I like it.
No, yeah, I like it. I mean, it's our final home game. The team knows it. We read from Gat. Matt just pulled out this epic thing out of his ass.
The Highlands way.
Yeah, I mean, this is... Let's end the season on an ironically happy note. I mean, it's been one of those seasons that we've
begging or
just...
what?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay.
You know.
We do need to, you're right. And we need to
Although
end
if I'm
the
going to
home
beg,
season.
I'll beg for Kevin Doyle to come say goodbye to the fans at the tailgate.
Whoa, there you go.
That's what I would really like.
Card
Yes.
played.
Yep. I just threw my ace down on the table.
I got nothing left.
That's all I got.
That's it.
Nice.
Yeah. And a 3-1 win would be awesome.
You know, Kevin Doyle, when he left, what was it? All of them, Reading, Wolverhampton, I think,
Oh,
Cork City. Standing ovation, his final game. We didn't get that. We got fucked out of us
yeah.
saying a proper goodbye.
He basically, I think he was named Player of the Year of both clubs.
He was Young Player of the Year in the whole of the Premier League, I believe, when he was with Wolvers or Reading.
First stint, yeah.
Yeah.
He was Player of the Year for Ireland,
Uh-huh.
and then I think for Wolves as well. Yeah.
Just says a lot about the type of guy he is. Just everybody loves the dude. And if people haven't read Brian's article,
Darn it.
That's a good place to start, and then stay tuned next week for Matt's tribute, because if you heard his tribute to Pablo, you know that his tribute to Doyle is.
He's going to have guest comments from Sean St. Ledger.
There's a comment from
Robbie Keane.
Comment from chat saying that was
Just
amazing. Flyby. I assume he's talking about me.
Yeah, dude. Totally, he's got to be talking about you. There's no other way that anything come out of us except for maybe some of Colin's stats would have been amazing. But
Before
no,
we
that was
kick
all
off,
on
who
you.
is in chat this evening with us?
Yeah, did we?
We'd like to call him out.
Drunken Monk, Colin, anybody?
You cut out for
Matt,
TNT.
somebody who's in chat.
This thing only says Flyby Cygnus 2112, and I'm so innovative.
Well, welcome.
yeah.
Well, thank you
We,
to the two of you.
we're missing a few. Of
Are
our
you
normals.
serious? Oh, it's gonna be
Keep
a
in
long
mind,
night.
Men's national team game is playing right now.
Yeah, Brian just gave us the TNT score update. So for those people listening to it back and watching the game now, can realize when we were actually recording, we
It's
were doing
6:18
this.
p.m.
That's where our dedication lie. Talking about RSL as the U.S. national team is going on, but that's okay.
So I might burn the dick down if Gordon starts again.
No, for real. You're gonna be that unhappy?
I'm going to be that unhappy.
Or it'll just prove my point that Cookie doesn't want the job.
Or we're paying this guy, let him play. There's two games left in the season.
But
We're not
we
gonna
knew
keep
why
him
we
next
brought
year?
him in. We brought him in to sub and be that sub. That's what every team has paid him to do. And so he's not a starter. He's meant to come in and score goals late, which he does.
Chat's asking for no spoilers on the USA game. Please, 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 please.
Oops.
I don't know. I didn't hear what you said, so hopefully he didn't either.
Exactly.
Oh shit.
That's why I pushed the microwave.
Well, I didn't hear it from here, so I'm good.
Well, there's an awkward silence. Anyway, yeah, back to RSL then. So they got a lot to play for, and we got nothing to play for except for kicking it to their teeth, which could be a lot more than what they're playing for if you look at it in the most positive way.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think if we win, we jump them in the standings.
That can't be possible.
I guess that's true. They were like 10 points up.
They're
On us.
12 up on us.
They're 12 points up.
I think I said it in my Know Thy Enemy.
Yeah, why didn't you listen, Brian?
I might have been laughing so hard I skipped over that fact. But
Do we have a chance of
we have a chance of nothing.
staying above
We
LA?
have only a chance of screwing up their season. And we need both Texas teams to win as well.
And maybe staying at a last place.
right above
Yeah,
LA.
we need to not lose to LA.
So it could be worse.
True.
We must be at
I
like
don't
2
know.
hours now.
I want the draft pick.
It's all about the draft pick. All about the draft pick. There's a new soundbite we're gonna need to have. All about the draft pick. We're at 1 hour and 5 minutes. All right,
Feels
so
like longer.
Scores?
Must be your boring at. No.
that's the new hashtag. We are boring. I said a 3-1 win would be epic or awesome. It would be a great way to finish it out. It's our last home game, last tailgate. It's our last time to hang out with a good majority of our soccer footy family. Some of us obviously will spend time with each other in the off season, but this is really kind of like the last hurrah. So it would be wonderful, and I'm being optimistic in my prediction here, that we ended on a positive note going into the off season. And we've kind of dubbed these last few games as the preseason, and you kind of want to go build on that. So hopefully we build on that, despite the fact that there's a chance you might see Gordon in the starting lineup. Just realize that some of this starting lineup isn't going to be here next year, but there are parts of it that are going to be. And hopefully it stays busy during this off season, so it flies by pretty quick. And before we know it, it's February and we're talking preseason soccer and Desert Diamond Cup and all that good stuff.
It will be. That's a scary thing.
Can we at least cheer the factor that it might be the last time we have to play against Beckerman and Ramondo?
That's very
I
true.
didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that.
That's quite possibly true. I'll give a
Golf clap.
little golfy clap to that. All right.
I might show up in dreadlocks just as a tribute.
There you go. All right. It's Bob Marley
Don't show up
Beckerman
for a
night.
week.
Yeah.
All right. B, what are your thoughts? Stop looking at the phone.
2-1 Rapids.
All right. We're all going positive?
Yeah.
Ish.
I feel good about it. I feel good about the way they've been playing the last few matches. Just by, results not quite going out. So
Okay.
the other thing you got to think about is, when Tim comes back tomorrow, what's that, Wednesday? Will he be in goal? I don't know. Last home game, I would hope so.
Right.
But what kind of, energy is that going to zap out of him?
So far, we're paying him $2 million per goal, so he better fucking play.
This is true.
He's got to get that number down a bit.
Yep. He needs to knock
I hope
one
they
in the
let him
upper
take a
90.
PK if it happens, just for the fuck of it.
Yes.
Next.
All right, everyone's looking at their phones. We better end this shit.
Colin, what's your score prediction?
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I'm going for a 3-2 Rapids win.
Well, he's at high scoring. That's 5 goals, but he's bouncing off.
He's
by
easily
3 more.
impressed. It's okay. So chat, we have one guess from our guy Flyby. 2-1 Rapids win. I'm actually gonna go with 3-0 Rapids win. I
Holy
think we
crap!
shut
The
'em
only
out.
blowout of the year.
I think
That's
we
San Jose.
shut them out and we shit down their throat.
All right.
Because that's the Highlands Way!
Yay! Matt.
Hell, I'll go 3-1, and I'll say Harrison's involved with a couple. I think Eigner's gonna get one of them too.
Harrison with a brace, Agner with a goal and an assist.
I can do that.
All right.
I could even see Mo Saeed doing something.
Mo with
Howard
an
with a
assist.
goal.
Howard with an assist.
That's an easy one. He hasn't scored anything.
He's got to get his 10th, man. And how awesome would it be if he got it at home? It
Well,
would be
it's
pretty
Colin's
awesome.
fault he didn't get it in Dallas
Right. Well,
against Dallas.
now he's done the numbers and they can pay for it. So, yeah. Any final thoughts, closing thoughts as we wrap this up?
Oh, tailgate.
Yeah.
Tailgate is starting a little bit early and closing a little bit early.
We're trying to,
Uh,
so we can get into the
yeah.
game,
yeah,
We've
'cause we're
sacrificed
of course,
enough for you people.
We are doing this on our own dime.
basically
I'm personally
there's a
going to
bunch of
spit on
grumpy
every
old
7th
men.
hot dog.
Oh,
Hey, that's
Is
no.
that-
Colin's job.
After
Is that different than normal?
Yeah.
It's usually every 4th. Feeling
Okay,
generous.
so something about 5:15. Is that when we're closing down?
No, we're closing like 4:30.
Yeah.
4:30. No, 4:45.
Okay.
So it's 15 minutes earlier than normal.
What time's Flip Cup close down?
That means Flip Cup should be done by like freaking 4:30 at the absolute latest. And I don't know how that trend has come along, but all right.
Well, there won't be any rivalries this time. RSL fans persona non grata in our tailgate. It's going to be
true.
friendly Flip Cup for the first time.
I don't know. They're on our territory. Things might change.
Maybe
All right.
we'll send Matt over there and he can play some flip cup.
And speaking of tailgate, if I get my way and Kevin Doyle gets to come say goodbye to the fans, we'll blow it up on Twitter. Otherwise, see you at the tailgate. We're going to rock it out. The Rapids are going to win their last home game.